Hi, everybody. I'm going to do this afterwards, but I do want everybody to see you. So there you go. So you have to start
Hello,
out that way.
hello everyone. I have to start out bigger, and here we
Uh-huh.
are.
That's right. That's right. Here we are. Um, it's probably going to take a few minutes for the notices to go out, but today Val will be asking me questions for the Akashic
Yes,
Records Masters, and I'll be answering them as they can give me the information that they can. But
yes.
backstage, we were just talking about the Hadron Collider, and there's a lot there. There's a lot there.
I
So
have to say, it has
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I mean, this is delving into time space
it
kind
is.
of
It is. Yeah.
area, and it's on, and then it's not on. So it's not going to be on for 10 years because they're
Yeah. Well,
upgrading.
actually, 2030 is what they're saying now, but um, I don't know if that will happen. What will happen with it? But they've accelerated the busting of neutrons and things, and they when they did it. This is what I heard. When they did it, they said they didn't know if they were going to destroy the universe, which
They
really
didn't.
upset. And
That's true.
then they said, "Oh, we didn't, so it's okay." But now there's a lot of anomalies in the findings, and there's this young guy, and he's like 15. I can't remember his name,
Yeah.
but they believe he's the reincarnation of Nikola Tesla,
Mhm.
and he's saying we jumped a timeline, and the one that was closest to us.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't go all the way,
We can.
especially to
I
the
mean,
right.
I think we're jumping timelines all the time, but I
I do
think those
too.
kind
No,
of
I do.
things definitely make a major
They do. And
shift.
the
Yeah.
Mandela effect, of course.
Yes.
And you've lived through some of that yourself.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
For sure.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
so hello, Cynthia Smith and Carl. It's lovely to see you, Eliza. We live in love. We can face anything. Amen to that. Marina and I were just talking on our show Friday night about how it's calmer. Things are
yes.
different. Things are shifting.
Yes.
And instead of being really upset about things, I'm finding it's easier to laugh,
Yes.
especially at people who are sitting on a metal bleacher and refuse to leave, even though there's an electrical storm in the air.
Yeah. Mm.
I know, I know. And then the ones that do leave are diverted across the street to get shelter at the African American Museum.
Oh, yes. Isn't
So
that
there's so much
that's just
it's I guess poetic justice or
it,
it's
it's the
karma.
synchronization of the universe
Uh-huh.
flowing
You're right.
beautifully.
You're right. And yes, Jupiter does help us laugh.
Jupiter
And I've
is a
been
very
waiting for it.
it's one of my favorite planets because it's luck to me, it's my good
Yeah.
luck place, it's
Mhm.
everything
Mhm.
fortunate and all good
Yeah.
things, so
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
yeah.
So hello Wiki and hello Spider Bite and
Oh, and the warrior widow is cooking in the
oh, Warrior Widow was
background.
up there first. Yes.
Yeah,
She's cooking. So
yeah,
yeah,
she's
save some
cooking.
for us. All right.
Yeah,
So I'm going to turn this over to Val and let me get myself
yeah,
settled so she can start asking
alright.
questions. Thank you. All right. Okay. All set.
Okay. Alright, great. So, thank you, Allie, for doing this, and, we're going to say hello to the Akashic Record Masters and thank them for joining us today.
Mhm.
And in the category of nature of reality, what is consciousness fundamentally?
Mm. Consciousness is the spark that infuses all of reality. Consciousness is what brings from the thought to the thing. Consciousness is what creates every single thing that we have, and also goes on its own journey in order to bring us to a place where we can achieve whatever it is that is achievable within our soul contract before we come down here to the earth.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And is the universe still being created? And another way to say this is creation an external process unfolding in the present moment?
Yes, the universe is currently, is always expanding. It is infinite. It is, they're showing me black holes that are sucking up different universes, but not, it's almost as though there are universes within universes. And so the potentiality seems to be that those universes also contain within them parallel universe. It's almost as though they're showing me mice. They're saying, you know how you just keep having more and more mice. That's what they're showing me. They're showing me that that the reality that we live in shifts so much that it's very difficult for us sometimes to even conceive. We can't even conceive of something that happened 20,000 years ago, or even 10,000, or even 5,000 years ago. But this is billions of years ago, and it continues and continues. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How does Source experience itself through individuated beings?
Again, back to the divine spark within us all, but comes from Source. So they're showing me Tinkerbell with the wand. It's presenting itself, tapping itself on us all, but it comes from such a collective that we need to realize that we are, of course, we are not alone. We are all part of the same, but the spark of the divine that is within us is shared and is boundless.
Ooh, that's lovely. I love that. Thank you so much. And what is the relationship between awareness, energy, and form?
Co-creators, awareness, energy. Once we are mindful and in present moment, we allow ourselves to have form wash over us, or to move from thought to form. There are times that we have seen this in the past on your planet, where enlightenment periods of great art, periods of great music, periods of great growth. We've also seen the other side of it, which is not a positive side. However, the balance is something that we, while we don't agree with how it's done, unfortunately, there will always be those who wish that upon us. But keeping that balance of good and evil, or making something good from thought and making something bad from thought, is a choice. And when you have enough people that make the choice to do the positive thing, then it becomes a paradigm shift. And we've seen that in specific periods over time, where great creative pursuits were seen and done. And we are upon that once again, once we can cut ourselves off from the lower vibrations and realize that we all walk in the 5D and can do this.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And Spiderbite says, consciousness would be awareness, but our conscious selves are a mystery. Our fascia collapses under anesthesia when we are unconscious. Those are some of the thoughts from the chat. And I think this just is such an interesting topic. And is reality fundamentally physical, energetic, informational or something beyond these concepts? So is reality fundamentally physical, energetic, informational, or something beyond these concepts?
They're indicating that it contains those elements, but it is something beyond our concept. They're saying that while we have made great strides in our areas of consciousness, we are not at the pinnacle of that will tip us into that. There's an issue with ego and the me in many people, that even those that claim to be spiritual. And so some of the revelation that is coming in is we're going to feel that shift once that happens. But they're saying, always be ready to be surprised, because there's always information that hasn't been revealed, except perhaps to those who understand it, such as the Akashic Records masters do.
Beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. And something to look forward to.
Yeah.
New information.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Akashic Record Masters, why does separation appear so convincing if unity is the deeper truth?
Ooh. They're saying that's something that man made because man does not want to be alone. And so, we can be fully autonomous. However, in being fully autonomous, become more like robots, or more like those who are not sentient. So it's our sentience that creates that need for community, relationship. For what purpose would we be here if we were just learning and growing on our own by sharing our experiences with others? This brings us joy, and it also escalates our understanding of being a human that is or being a spiritual being inside of a human container.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. And what are dimensions from the perspective of the Akashic Records?
States of consciousness. Dimensions create states of consciousness. There are many who have come from other planetary systems to our world, who exist in consciousness much, much higher than us, do not have to speak, can communicate telepathically, which we can do as well, but we don't believe we can do it. Many don't believe they can do it here. But the states of consciousness are all available to all of us. However, sometimes we tamper that because we have to coexist, and coexisting with a group of people who come from a different consciousness level is part of the Earth experience. They're saying that the Earth experience is possibly going to change to a planet, and that instead of coming here for lessons, comes here as a planet in order to seek harmony and balance. And the tougher things that we have considered our contracts are being eradicated, except to those who are newer to the planet.
Wonderful. Okay, that was beautiful. And so, how does free will coexist with a universe of interconnected consciousness?
Mm. Free will was considered to be a gift because of many people believe that someone has to tell them what to do, and that they can't make their own conscious choices for something. And while we still have people that want to be told what to do and not make their own decisions, free will exists so they can do that when they come to that level of understanding that nothing is set in stone. Consciousness is very fluid, as are decision-making processes and growth in vibratory enlightenment.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And what is the purpose of forgetting before remembering?
The Akashic Records masters say, think of this. You had a very tragic ending, or you lost someone in a very tragic way in a past life. And that's just one example. You also may have learned a lot of lessons, but you carry those in your etheric field. You carry the lessons, and so that's part of what comes back. But some of the forgetting has to do with memories of tragedy and loss, because coming back to a life where you're still feeling that loss and tragedy from a prior life, and you can't exist and be an autonomous being here, made it more possible for people to come back, to begin anew and to learn something new without the tragedy influencing them in a very large way, even though they carry that in their etheric field.
Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And how does the universe evolve through our experiences, humanity's experiences?
Baby steps. They're saying you've learned, humanity has learned all of these things before, and humanity is cashing in on the forgetting by using their free will and not remembering what they already learned as experience dictates. Mm-hmm. So as a collective, they're saying time goes by and people get complacent, souls get complacent, because many people do not want to reach in and work on any pain. It's too hard, it's too difficult, and yet it's what we have to do. So the universe does respond to periods of time, again, of great enlightenment, great artistic detail, great thinkers, and they mirror that back in a way that the universe and is trying to encourage us. We've been through this before. We can get through this again, but it's important to remember. Unfortunately, a certain portion of the memory for those who are lower vibrational level doesn't really completely eradicate itself.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you so much. And that concludes the nature of reality questions. Okay. Now we're going to move on to questions about the soul. And I want to remind everyone in the chat that you can ask universal questions of the Akashic Record Masters here in this show. So just so they aren't personal and that they benefit everyone, you can put them in the chat and we may choose them. So going to the soul questions, before incarnation, how does a soul choose what to explore?
They're saying that much like when we get to the other side during each lifetime, we have a review. The same could be said of choosing the soul contract. There's a process of going through what has already been accomplished or what has been accomplished thus far in the reincarnation cycle. It also points to choice of what fills the soul of the person creating the contract, which may include people that they wish to work with again, or people that they wish to work with that they've never worked with before, but that there are strong attributes of understanding that will occur between those souls. The Akashic Records Masters are saying, as a community, this was chosen for many of us in the 1950s to 1960s and beyond. And many of those people who are here that are born later than the 1950s, let's say, or even the 1940s, they waited to come in for a meet with those who were older so the wisdom could be passed down, because they didn't want to come in too early when they were too young or the wise were too young so that that wasn't completely fulfilled. So there's a real interesting puzzle that they complete. And once the last piece is put in, they're showing me, there is a decision-making process, and all the other elements then start to work for them so they can come in.
Wonderful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Does every soul possess a unique energetic signature that has always existed?
Yes, you're getting wiser and wiser. You are the energetic soul of approximately your 2-year-old self, that which you enjoyed as a 2-year-old, because there's no filter. You don't have judgment. You don't have it. And so if you meet somebody who fundamentally was ingrained, let's say, or on the planet for 2 to 3 years, you can see the genuine spark. You can also see some of the difficulties that they're going through at the same time. But it's part of the choice that is made. And some of us who have had children can attest to the fact that this is pretty much the way we were at that time. We have that energetic overprint that carries with us, unless we choose to change it and to upgrade ourselves. But that has to be a conscious choice.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. And how does individuality continue while recognizing oneness?
You're showing me a line of Volkswagens that are all red. This thing, how boring is that? How boring are Volkswagens that are all red? We need orange ones and green ones and blue ones. And so what the message is that I'm getting is that combined, we all drive the highway of life, but to be the same as another is not to grow and learn, and also work on your soul contract. So the fact that you're individual is so important, and so many young people struggle with it because they're either shut down or they have peer pressure that they are weird or strange because they don't fit the mold. But that's purposeful. It's to break them out of the mold and to realize that the people that are judging them, part of the whole, are the ones that have no idea what their mission is. And they're making judgments of others who pretty much know what they're doing.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much. What aspect of ourselves have we not yet remembered?
Wow. My high heart. Oh, my high heart. The love we have for our humanity, our collective, but we have to remember more about the love we have for ourselves and the vessel that carries us, and the idea that we all have purpose. Many of us don't have the same purpose because that would be boring. That isn't what we chose. But the fact that we don't see ourselves in the grand scheme of things, that someone is better than us, and this is built on the idea of competition, which in some cases, as we see, for instance, in the sports industry, it serves as an adjunct to working harder. But they're saying that many of us need to go back more to the Eastern philosophy side of things, where things flow, where we allow, and where we remember that the core of our being is in loving ourselves first, because once we love ourselves, we can love anything else.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for that answer, Akashic Record Masters.
Yeah.
And I want to say hi to a few people who've come in. Artist Liz, Anna, good to see you. Lois, hi. Spider Bite, Vicky Howell, Charlie C. Sage, good to see you. Elizabeth Bassett. Some of these, I might as well just say everyone. Wiki, and Elizabeth. Yeah, I just said Elizabeth. Cynthia, good to see you. And the Warrior Widow. So moving on to the next question 3 more about the soul. Then we
Mhm.
move on to humanity's evolution,
Okay.
everyone. What
All
is coming for humanity? So the next soul question is, what does soul maturity actually mean?
right. Wow. Okay, so they're showing me sort of a wizened old man with a long beard, and they're saying X over him. Okay, so it's not it's not that. It's not our age. It's not our age. Um, but they're saying wisdom does come with age, but we do have a lot of wise young people, and they're saying they're starting the cycle again to learn sort of the second layer of maturity. And it's now that they come in as wiser young people, they already have a basis for which they can draw. And so I love that idea. I do. But we also have people that are like mature, and they're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. But so maturity as a word is misrepresented in many people's minds. Spiritual maturity is understanding that you'll never know everything, that you'll never learn everything, that you are both teacher and student, and that unless you allow things to come, you will never reach that full maturity. You will be sort of stuck waiting to get over the mountaintop to the other side. So they're asking for you to release the idea of any judgment around how it will happen, when it will happen, where it will happen. It will happen. They want you to know it will happen. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters.
Mhm.
And back on that question before about the aspects, what aspects of ourselves have we not yet remembered?
Mhm.
Garnet is saying Aley was so amazingly intelligent channeling that answer. So just had to throw that in there.
Thanks, Garnet.
Um, and what becomes possible when personality and soul operate in harmony? What
Mhm.
becomes possible?
Anything. They're saying anything is possible. It's the balance. It's the balance of, um, yeah, just aim for balance. We can't always be completely balanced, but there isn't anything that we can't do, the Akashic Records Masters is saying. It's our own limitations, our own thoughts around something that hold us back, because we can't believe that that's possible. But it's very, very possible. But you must believe it's possible in order to achieve it.
I love that answer. And I just want to mention we have a new subscriber, Cinderella. Cinderella, we are absolutely taking questions. However, they are collective questions, not
Mhm.
personal questions.
Right.
It is about going into the Akashic records and giving the Akashic record masters big box questions about the universe, about
Mhm.
humanity. So you're welcome to reframe your question, and we'll look at it. And so we're moving on. One last soul question, and then we move on to the
Okay.
exciting humanities evolution. How
Okay.
does a soul know it is ready for its next expansion?
Hmm. Um, Much like a tidal wave, you can't hold it back. It is a subconscious, a choice. Many of us may see that come to us in a form of a dream, or a movement that a moment of an epiphany where something just absolutely synchronizes, and we get a little bit of a heads up. But they're saying, you came here for growth, you came here to learn, you came here to raise your vibration. And if you're not doing that, then why be here? And this is why some folks check out early, where they haven't met that yet, and they're confused because they think they've done something wrong. There's no wrong. There are no mistakes. There's nothing that can hold you back. And when your time has come, um, it's in every single thing we do. An idea whose time has come, though, usually comes in a wave, such as in Mr. Hale and Mr. Bob finding a comet at the exact same time period, and then realizing that this was something that is not just singular, but the time had come. The time had come for this. So, everybody has different ways of this happening. But recognizing those things also sometimes are much more understood in hindsight.
Love that. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And moving into the exciting humanity's evolution.
All right.
What is humanity collectively moving toward in 2026?
They're saying it took at least half a year for us to recognize as a collective that we don't have to endure anything that we choose not to. And the planetary lineup of the age of Aquarius has been fulfilled. And humanity is now ready to step forward and has started to step forward into more light and more harmony within the collective vibration. And so we will meet more people who will join that. They're already here. They've already been doing it. We haven't met them yet. We will all come together. Once that happens, all bets are off. They're saying that yes, negative things will happen in life because that's the way things work, but that we can change our perception of those things and move more into grace and harmony.
Beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Which qualities of consciousness are emerging most strongly now?
One of the big qualities of consciousness that are emerging and bringing people together are the fact that we are not separate. We're not separate entities, but we're also not separate on this planet with regard to where on the planet we live. That everything that we face is a global concern. And this could not be more evident in the tremendous earth changes and heat, floods, earthquakes, so on and so forth. When you see humanity come together, such as we have seen in Venezuela, to search for people under a wreckage, to have dogs and animals found and used for that purpose as well, shows the best of humanity. If we can see more of that and less of the other, we will understand that we are all stewards for the other. And so this is a huge lesson, and it seems to only occur in tragedy. If we can move it from occurring just in tragedy into occurring as a daily occurrence, in a daily work, in a daily citizenry of global proportions, then we can move some of that energy into more beautiful and collected times.
Wonderful, wonderful. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And what old paradigms are naturally dissolving now?
Aging.
Ooh.
We're being called at the last vestiges of, you're too old for this, I'm too old to do that, I'm old, therefore I can't see, walk, hear. And they're giving me the buzzer. No. Cancel. No. There will come a time where we will, those on the planet will live to be maybe even up to 250 years old. And it has to start now with the mindset. that not only, though, are people not diminished because they're older, but they can't be diminished if they're younger. So it is a full aging paradigm. And remember, nothing's on a straight line, but once we can get to this spiral, which brings us into a shift, and we need all people of all ages in all places in order to do this. But if we can get a high enough vibration on that energy, then it will shift into it. And eventually, like many other things that are at first dismissed, it will just become common.
Oh, lovely. Mm-hmm. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
What misunderstandings about awakening are ready to fall away?
Awakening is a process. Awakening is a continuing process. We can't stay in higher levels of awakening unless we are cloistered monks. We can float around. We can do whatever we want because we have no other responsibilities. So if something happens and you want it, I want to live in that, I want to come back to that, it will continue to come back. But living in that constant state of enlightenment is difficult for people who have to live in a lower vibrational world. And while that world is making its way up into a paradigm shift itself, the way that it's been explained to me from the Akashic Records masters is you will sort those whose energy does not match your energy. You will make the boundaries that you need to make. You'll make these changes that you have to make in more alignment with your own, which doesn't mean you're better than those people or you're better in this area than the other. Nothing has to do with a sense of I'm bigger than you, better than you, which is another paradigm that needs to shift because we're all the same. But in that alignment, we will, it will become organic for us to step away from energy that no longer suits the energy that we find our present self in.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And how is humanity learning to create from coherence instead of survival?
We have seen some very great coherent, for instance, world chefs, food programs, caring for others who may or may not be aligned with our belief systems. But coherence comes with release. See yourself not in the water going down a stream, which would be okay, except that you have to sit in a canoe or a boat because we have to get a higher view of the banks. When you're sitting in the water, you're busy floating and flowing down the river. When you're in this other part of your world, you're seeing from a different view. So they're all talking perspective or a higher view, much like the eagle. You can see everything that's there. You know what's happening, and you're better able to make decisions than you are when you're sitting, let's say, in a lower position.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And what capacities are becoming more available to ordinary people?
Manifestation is one. Many people are manifesting in real time, and the Akashic Records Masters are reminding you to never say negatively anything, because that negative thing doesn't hear that it's negative. It just hears that's what you want. So ordinary, quote, ordinary people are also coming out and talking about the disclosure of alien technology and it's coming out in movies. But it's coming out in a more positive light for the most part, and not out of fear, although there are some who wish to spark fear that for instance, some are coming here and to hurt us or demonize, or this is all just part of holding us back in that lower paradigm so as to control. And we don't need that energy. We are autonomous, and we don't need to be controlled by anybody or anything else.
Lovely. Okay, I love that. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And what role does joy play in the evolution of consciousness?
Oh, one of the best higher vibrations that one can accomplish. Laughter, joy. They're giving me the word embulant, or EMBUILLENT, which is effusively joyful. It almost is that kind of sickening joy where you go, okay, we get it. Calm down. We get it. We get it. But there is that capacity in all of us to feel that internally and to understand it and work from that level instead of a level of distrust or any of the lower levels that are out there. Our first reaction to something negative is to step in. This is in general, to step into a response and a retort and a negative retort. They're saying step into joy and say something like, well, I never really looked at it that way before, and move on. So they're saying, this is changing already. We're seeing this happening. And they're admonishing you to take it into your own discernment and figure out how that can work for you.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you. And what is the next great? This is the last humanity's evolution question. And what is the next great invitation for humanity?
The next great invitation will come from the Galactic Federation Council. There has been some back gate, but there's always those who believe that they're entitled to the information, that pay very heavily for influence. The Akashic Records Masters are being very careful the way they're saying this, because they are not judgmental. That they're saying that those who contracted for that, their comeuppance is coming, but that's their contract. So we don't like it. Those of us who work with it, they're not judging it. They're just saying that can be possible. But the Galactic Federation, understanding that if we're not stewards of this earth, if we're not stewards of ourselves, if we don't care, if we allow this to happen, pollution, and even some people say we can't, those on the earth can't afford not to pay for electricity because then we'll all suffer, which doesn't make sense. Or we can't know what the cure for cancer is because then a corporation can't earn their money. The Galactic Federation are going to help us with this because a lot of them are so much older than our humanity is here. And they've helped us in the past. They've helped us in Egypt, in Atlantis, in Lemuria. In all aspects, they have given us help, and those of our predecessors. And they're saying now we may be able to be more seen. And that's what the invitation is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that answer, Akashic Record Masters. And we do have a question from the chat.
Okay.
It's from, I hope I pronounced this right, Wicolia.
It's Wiki. Yeah,
it's
that's
Wiki.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was calling you Wiki, even though it's not WKI. I stuck with that. Okay, good. So how do we balance the micro and the macro view of our existence in this lifetime?
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that you understand the connection between the micro and the macro view, because a lot of people don't. So what they're saying is, what is affecting you is not just affecting you, it's affecting others. And so as within, so without, as micro, so macro. So many times we will see something similar. We're dealing with an ordeal. We're dealing with something that we we're really having a hard time. We're wrestling with it. And at the same time, it's being wrestled either by others or even in the macrocosm. It's a cultural issue. It's an issue that is deemed unsolvable. But the fact that there is a connection to that shows us that there also might be all of these macros affecting the micro, which is actually what's going on. If you've got a lot of negativity and a lot of anger and a lot of lower vibrational energy out there, it can bring that in the macrocosm. So it's incumbent on all of us to focus more on our micro in order to raise our vibration and to understand our place in this world and how our experiences also color the collective.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that answer, Akashic Record Masters. We're moving into the embodying the light questions. And the first one is, what does it truly mean to embody the light?
Many people know that we have an auric field and an etheric field, and some of us have actually witnessed videos of those on their deathbeds, soul releasing from its container, and it's light. So we are infused with light. Being 99% water, all of us also are conduits for that energy. It's almost as if the water, and there's the microcosm, the water in our bodies feeds the light. And in the macrocosm, we need the water to feed the bodies of all. So what they're saying is, we are born from light. We come from light. We live in light. When we have darkness, we need to make certain that we rebalance, we re-energize, we work with it. And to understand that source is nothing more than light. And I believe that in your book of Genesis at the very beginning, it speaks to that. So even though that is a perceived religious dogma understanding of it, or a myth, a mythic story, it really has the components in it that the Akashic Records Masters say explains it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And what prevents people from recognizing the light they already are?
Judgment. Either they've been told that they're no good, they don't have anything to give, they're not worthy, etc., etc. This blocks us. This blocks our light. If we start to believe that, and it can come from conditioning, it can come from childhood, it can come from the familial home, and this is why so many people are working to heal their ancestral wounds, because it's not just karma that we work through in our life. It's also the wounding that we have that's in our DNA that comes from our line. And so not recognizing your own light is something that's part and parcel of what you need to do to become a higher spiritual being, not to be better than anyone else, but to be better for yourself.
Lovely, lovely. Love that answer. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. How does light express itself through ordinary daily living?
Ooh. Wow. Oh, they're showing me one of my plants out in the backyard that had pretty much died, and now is 7 feet tall. I mean, this thing is grown, and so they're saying it needed more light. It needed your light. It needed. So you can recognize some of these things by the growth of the earth. You can recognize some of these things by things that you are interested in learning about, tapping into, people that you're drawn to, because you actually can see their light. You can see what it is that is them, their essence, and you can tell whether or not they align with the type of energy that you need and they need as well. So it's a mutual share. They're just showing me everything that we do And I'm seeing little dogs and cats, and they come over to you. You don't even know them. They sit on your lap. They recognize your light. And so take nothing for granted. It's working all the time for you.
That's beautiful. And Wiki saying random acts of kindness.
Yes, absolutely. It raises your vibration. Yeah.
Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That was beautiful. And what qualities naturally emerge as consciousness expands?
There's some saying, peace that passeth all. And yes, it's a sense of peace. It's realizing that the striving needs to go, and the emergence of peace that comes over, knowing that everything is as it should be and better than that, and that we are aligned with our own truth, whether that be something others may shun, that's their choice. We've made our choice. It's living more properly in alignment with our own essence.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. We're going to go down to living in the new energy. What habits no longer serve consciousness in this new cycle?
The Akashic Records Masters have something to say, but they're not saying it as judgment, and they never do. So they're saying it's important for us to align ourselves with proper food, and also proper care and nourishment of the body in other ways. They're saying it's important for us not to strive and go and not take a break and not balance. So everything about it is about balance, and we need it because there are generations of those who have been workaholics, and they get to the point where they're ready to retire, or they're thinking of different other things, and they haven't done any of that. And so their demise comes very swiftly at times because they aren't in alignment with the truth or their own purpose. They were more in alignment with what brought them the monetary or the energy that they sought outside of themselves. So they're saying seeking something outside of yourself is not bad in general, but seeking what's inside is more important.
I love that answer. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And this may be our last or second to last question. What does it mean to become fully multidimensional while remaining fully human?
They're saying that there are many people on the earth who live by their faith, and most of the time their faith in things unseen, and that this has been for time immemorial. I mean, it goes back, the belief in, for instance, the idea of the creator, of God, of things that have happened in the opening of the universe. Now they're saying that it's important for us to understand and live in faith with our own spiritual journey. We aren't making things up when they come to us. We have to accept that whatever shows up is something that we need to know. We have to trust our guides. We have to trust things we can't see. And this is difficult because we have a lot of people with logical mind, and that is hard for them. However, a lot of people who are fully ingrained in logical mind have had experiences such as near death, and then it has transformed their whole idea of what those things unseen are doing behind the scenes. And so we're probably going to see some more of that. And unfortunately, those people in the past have been shunned by people in their community. But that will finally change at some point, because the experience will happen to those other people if it sneaks in and allows itself to, and they will go, oh, I get it now.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And this is absolutely our last question. How
Okay.
do parallel expressions of consciousness influence present awareness?
There's an interesting concept that I'll leave the group with, and it is that parallel universes contain parallel versions of ourselves. So many of us will say, I wonder what would have happened if I had done this instead of what I chose to do. They tell us all the time, don't go there. You made a choice, move forward. But somebody, your other parallel self in some other lifetime, has made different choices in that place to learn what they needed to learn in that place. And so understand that while you may not be even connected in some way to that parallel you are definitely connected to that parallel you.
Mm-hmm.
You are, it much like all of the blood drops in the body or the cells in the body, they come from source and they come from the same source. And so whatever it is that's working with you in this life, in this universe, is also working with you in the others. And some of it can bypass, and you will see it as deja vu. You will see it as a way of understanding, oh, I've been here before, because you have.
Ooh, that's nice. I love that. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And that, brings us to our end of our show. And Aley, thank you so much for going into the records and for getting those beautiful, beautiful answers. I just, it always blows us away at how expansive going into the records can be for everyone, and to hear what the Akashic Record Masters have to pass on. And thank you, all of you who are in the chat, for joining us and for your question today. And we
Never
appreciate
stop
your
being
participation.
surprised.
Yeah.
Never stop being surprised, because it's the wonder of the world. It really is. Thank you, Val. Thank you.
And I just want to mention before we go that that on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, Nadia, the warrior widow, will be on the Disclosure channel with me, sharing her ET experiences. She's an experiencer, so you're going to want to join that. So go to the Disclosure channel, and this is for Wednesday. You're not going to want to miss that. So, Aley, what do you have coming up that you want people to know about?
I've got a fairly busy week because Keith is going in for surgery in a couple of weeks, so I've cleared that week out. So I'm going to try to finish up what I can. But I do want to mention that my class on ancestral healing can be information can be seen on heartandsoulconnected.online, and it starts Sunday. It's 4 weeks, and it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and Aley and I have a new advanced psychic mediumship class. If you want to jump in and go to dragonflycrystals.store for that. So go ahead, Aley.
Yep. No, that's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I just want to throw this out there too. The Akashic Records class is this coming Saturday. There's still room. Sign up for that.
You can do this. Yes, you can.
Yes, and you too can do this.
That's correct.
Go to dragonflycrystals.store and sign up for that. And go to heartandsoulconnected.online and sign up for Aley's class.
And we both do private readings for Akashic
Records.
And other things.
So thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad you could come. Carl, I'm glad you're back coming in. I've missed you, and it's always wonderful to have you here, sir. So thank you, my dear. Anyway, and to everyone else. Hi, Cheryl. It's wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Val, for the questions.
Oh, my pleasure.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.